Hey guys, welcome back. Today we are going to test out all of the pens in my Plum paper planner. I've been noticing on social media that some people have been having issues with finding a pen that works in their planner that doesn't smear. And so I decided to go ahead and get all the pens I have, and we can do just a quick list and see how they respond on the paper in the Plum paper planner. This is the 7x9 inch. It started, I wanted to say yearly dated. I have it starting in March, the Plum paper planner for 2019. So if that means anything to you, if the paper changes, I don't know. This is my first time in a Plum paper planner. So let's go ahead and get started. The first pen I'm going to use is my favorite pen. This is the Zebra Sarasa, I never know if I'm saying it right, clip in the 0.3 size. It's a gel pen, it's clicky, it has a little clip like this, and it is my all-time favorite pen. So let's go ahead and write something. So there's that, we'll give it a solid second. And no smear. It's perfect. Nothing got messed up. And like I said, this is my favorite pen. It's a fine tip gel pen. You can highlight over it, no issues whatsoever. And I love this clip because I can just clip it right to my coil and I don't have to worry about where's my pen. The next pen we're going to look at is the Pilot Juice Gel Pen in the 0.38 size. It's also black. Most of these pens are going to be in black. This pen is very similar to the Zebra pen I just showed you. It comes in a bunch of different colors and it has the same little clip like the Zebra pen does. And that pen also did not smear, however, it did skip a smidgen right when I first started writing with it. However, this isn't a pen I use a lot, so I'm sure I just needed to get the ink going before I started writing with it. The third pen we have is the Pilot Hi-Tec-C Gel Pen. I guess I should flip it that way for you. It has a cap, and it's more of a needlepoint pen, which I really enjoy needlepoint pens. I'm pretty heavy-handed, so I like the feeling of like a stable pen. So let's go ahead and write something with this. And we'll test the smear. That one smeared just a little bit. It's honestly not really noticeable at all. I can kind of see where the ink really globbed, where I did like a double stroke like for the C. But overall, not a lot of smearing. I do really like this pen. It does seem to be a little thinner, or it might be the ink's not as pigmented as the other two pens, but it's still a great one. The next one on the list is the exact same pen. This is the Pilot Hi-Tec-C Maica pen. It's exactly the same needlepoint tip, but it has a different pen body and it has this little jimmy gem on the top, as well as a little loop so you can like hook a charm or a lanyard or something to it. This is also in the 0.4 millimeter size. We'll test for a smear, and no smear from that one. The next pen on our list is a planner favorite. It is the Papermate InkJoy Gel Pen. This is the 0.5 body pen size, ink size, whatever, in the black. I really like this pen, but I do wish that it came in a smaller tip size. Let's try the smear. And no smear from that one either. It seems like, for the most part, the gel pens handle really nicely on the paper in the Plum paper planner. Next up is another planner favorite, and this is probably just an overall favorite. I think looking up on the internet about these pens, it's the #1 selling gel ink pen in America. It has the clip, the click, and a clip. and this is in the 0.38 size. And no smear from this pen as well. Next is another planner favorite. This is the Muji Gel Ink Pen in the 0.38 millimeter in the black. And that one didn't smear either. Next, we have the Tool Gel Pen in the 0.38 millimeter black. This is another popular pen option. I'm gonna scroll down really quick. This is another popular pen option in the planner community because it's an affordable gel ink pen. And that one didn't smear either. Next is one of my favorite pens. This is the Uni-ball Signo DX. It's also known as the Uni-ball Signo UM151 gel pen in the 0.38 millimeter size. The only thing I don't like about this pen is that it is the cap instead of a click, but otherwise it's one of my favorite gel pens. It writes super smooth and I love using it. A little smear from that one just on the dot of the eye because I'm sure the ink just built up right there. Here's another Uni-ball Signo pen. This is the 207 Ultra Micro. I want to say it's probably a 0.38 size. I couldn't find a lot of information about this pen. I must have picked it up randomly at Office Depot or someplace like that. And again, it kind of had the same spot where the dots for the eyes smeared just a little bit when I went over it with my finger. Here is a new pen from my collection. This is the same as the first zebra pen that's my favorite pen, but this one's called the Mark On. It's a 0.4 size, and it's supposed to be perfect for those that like to highlight over their words. It's not going to smear at all, which is funny because I don't really have smearing issues with my other zebra pen, but thought this would be a fun one to test out anyways. And no smear from that one. Next we have another planner girl favorite. This is the Pilot FriXion erasable pens. I have them both in the retractable clip or the one with the lid and the cap. So let's go ahead and test those out. And no smearing. Actually, this one, the retractable one, smeared a little bit right at the end. If you can see where I wrote pen, you can see where it's smeared. So that's one. Is that from? Ah! My eraser's all dirty and now I got pen smudges all over my notebook. Whoops. That's okay. Ignore this situation over here. So the retractable one did smear a little bit, but the one with the lid and the cap didn't smear. So I don't know what that means, but take that for what you want. And then this pen is the Hi-Tec-C Coleto pen. It has the options where you can put in your own little pen inserts. So I have a couple different colors of pens as well as a mechanical pencil. This is going to be the same ink as this Pilot Hi-Tec-C ink. So it shouldn't smear because it's going to be the same as that pen. But we will go ahead and give it a try. And no smear from this guy. Next, I thought it would be kind of fun to try something just totally random, like a Jelly Roll gel pen. Because, I mean, we like to add fun glitter things to our planners, and sometimes these pens can get a little messy. So I was like, let's add this to the list. Okay, let's test it out because it's a juicy one. Oh yeah. All the smudging. So I'm sure if you gave it a second to dry, again, these pens are juicy. So I'm not surprised that it's smeared everywhere, but keep that in mind if you do want to use these in your planner. And then this is the last of the gel pen series that I have. This is the Pentel EnerGel Liquid Gel Ink Pen in the 0.3 size. And no smearing from that one. Now I kind of switched to other pen ink types. I have a couple ballpoints as well as this next pen, which is the Zebra Surari. It's an emulsion ink pen. This is in the 0.5 millimeter size with black ink. It has an emulsion ink from Zebra that combines the best quality of ballpoint ink but features the vibrant colors of a gel ink. So it has a little bit of both. And this one, it kind of smeared a little bit. It's not too bad, but you can kind of see the blue from the ballpoint ink that it smeared just a little bit when I rubbed my finger over it. Next, we have a Uni-ball Jetstream standard point pen, just a classic office pen in the 0.3 millimeter size with black ink. And no smearing from that guy. So this is our next pen. This is the Montpliche. I have no idea how you say it. I found this pen off of Amazon because I was looking for a fine tip, an ultra fine tip ballpoint pen, and this popped up with good reviews. It's a 0.38 millimeter tipped ballpoint pen, which is hard to come by, and it's in the black ink. You can find it on Amazon, and it comes in a 12-pack, and it's very affordable. Let me scroll down. There we go. And this one did the same as the Zebra Surari Emulsion ink pen. You can see that it smudged just a little bit right along the word where I rubbed my finger. Next, I thought we would try a rollerball pen. So this is the Pilot Precise V5 Retractable Rollerball Pen in the extra fine tip black ink. And this one did smudge, especially at the end of the word because that ink was probably the most wet from me writing. But if you let it dry for a little while, I'm sure it wouldn't smear. So that is the last of the rollerball ballpoint pens that I have. Next, I thought we would go into the felt tip pens because those seem to be the ones that have the biggest issues in the Plum paper planner. So our first one is a classic. It's the Staedtler Triplus Fine Liner, the fine tip 0.3 millimeter black felt tip pen. No smearing from that one. So this is always a good pen. I love these pens and they come in a bunch of different colors. The next one is a planner favorite. It's the Pigma Micron. This is in the 01 size, which has a 0.25 millimeter tip. And this is in the black. This is one of my favorite pens, and I actually haven't tested it out in this planner yet. This one had a little bit of smudging, but it really wasn't bad. You can kind of see it where the 01 is. But overall, not bad. Next up, we have the Staedtler Pigment Liner Pen in the 0.3 size. This is a permanent pen, so we'll have to see if it bleeds through. No smudging and no bleed through. So that's good to know. Another great pen, and this will probably be a good pen to use on stickers that you normally need to use permanent markers on because they're a little bit more of a shiny finish. So this guy. Our next felt tip pen is the Uni pen. And this is the 0.3 size black ink. And I really like this pen because it has a little window in it where you can see the tip. And I don't know why I like that so much, but I do. And that one's smeared. I guess I give the other ones a little bit longer to dry because I put the cap back on. But this one's smeared at the very end. You can see where the K is, how it's smudged right along there, probably because the ink was still wet because I just wrote that. Next up we have the Papermate Flare. This is the ultra fine point because I prefer a fine tip, an ultra fine tip pen. This is, of course, another planner girl favorite, so let's go ahead and give it a try. Okay, this one smeared pretty good on the paper. You can see it even from the second word that I wrote, that it smeared all along. So I do not recommend using those in your planner. Next up we have the classic Sharpie pen. You can't go wrong with this. This is of course just in the black size. Black color, not size, black color. And no smearing from this guy. Next is a new pen that I'm really enjoying. This is the Pilot Razor Point. It's an ultra fine tip pen as well. This is in the 0.3 millimeter size in the black ink, of course. Okay, this one smeared again a little bit at the end. You can see where I wrote the word pen that smeared, but the rest of the words are totally fine. So I feel like for felt tips, as long as you give them a little extra time to dry, they'll be okay on this paper. If you're a lefty, you might just want to stick with the Sharpie pen. Next we have, it's all upside down, the Faber-Castell Pitt Artist Pens. This is in the F, I assume that means fine, but I'm not quite sure. I have a set of these pens, and this was the first one that I found. Again, this one smeared a little bit at the end of the word like it did for the rest of the felt tip pens. The only felt tip pens that didn't smear at all are the Micron pen, this pigment liner, the Staedtler pigment liner. I really liked writing in the planner with this pen. I don't normally use this pen, but this is a good one. I really liked it, as well as the Sharpie pen. So if you are a felt tip lover and you use this planner, those are the ones that I would recommend. So the next category, I decided to kind of do more like fun pens. So we have, of course, a brush pen, and then I have an assortment of highlighters, some Tombow double tipped pens, as well as, of course, some Sharpie, just some classic Sharpie permanent markers that are the death to all planners, but I figured if you're gonna do a pen test video, you might as well do them all. So this is the Tombow Futosuke, I will never be able to say that correctly, brush pen. This is the hard tip one, and I just figured I would give it a nice little swirl and we'll see how it dries. I am gonna give it just a couple seconds because my pen is new, so it's really juicy. And nothing, let's go ahead and just do like Okay, even if you do go over it right after, it smudges just a little bit, but overall, no smearing if you just give it a couple seconds to dry. Next, we have the classic Tombow Twin Tone markers. This is the Sky color. Okay, these ones did not do good. Okay, the pen part did okay. The highlighting part though, or the like thicker tip part, let me let it have a second. Okay. As with all the felt tip pens, if you give it a second to dry, it's not gonna smear. But if you just write and then smudge, it's gonna smear. So keep that in mind when using any markers or highlighters. This is also one of my favorite. This is the Crayola Super Tip markers. I love using these for color coding. So we'll kind of do, and we'll do two little lines. We'll let one dry and we'll let the other. Okay. Okay. Just like with the others, if you touch it right away, it's gonna smudge. Otherwise, it'll be okay. Just give it a second. And I feel like it's gonna be the same with these other guys. I have a Zebra mild liner, just the classic pastel highlighter. This actually dried really quickly, and I mean, I laid down that line and then went right over it with my finger, and it didn't smudge at all. So good to know. Love these guys. If you don't own these, get them. You need them. That's all I'm gonna say about that. So then we have the Tombow dual end with the brush tip and then the marker tip. That's smeared. Oh, I'm over here putting the wrong tip cap on the wrong tip. If you let it dry, no smearing. Okay, now for the Holy Grail, the Sharpie permanent marker. No smudge, and there is, of course, some bleed through, but there's not onto the other page. It's just on the back where there's actually just a little bit of shadowing. It's really not as bad as I was expecting it to be. So, I mean, if you want to use a Sharpie, I guess go for it, as long as you're okay with not using the back page of your paper. So there we have it. All the pens tested out for you in my Plum paper planner. So I want to know, what's your favorite pen and what pen do you use in your planner? Let me know in the comments below. And if there's a pen you would like me to test that I didn't include in this video, let me know as well, and I can do that for you. If you haven't already, please subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!